Hey, it's Justin Morrison here, and today I'm reviewing the Fujifilm XT-3 for BestBuy.ca. The XT-3 has a 26 megapixel sensor. It's a CMOS 4 X-Trans sensor. X-Trans is Fujifilm's proprietary sensor type, very highly regarded amongst photographers for the quality of images it produces. The XT-3 can shoot up to 30 frames per second with no blackout, and that's with the using the electronic shutter. It has a maximum ISO of 51,600, and it also can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second with 10-bit color. Now that's a pretty remarkable feature, and one that will get videographers very excited. Not a lot of cameras shoot 10-bit color, especially at this size. And also, the XT-3 can shoot in log mode. Now, log mode is something that cinematographers love because it allows them to post-process their video in very creative ways. And this is interesting because I've noticed that a lot of manufacturers nowadays are selling log mode as a firmware upgrade, whereas Fujifilm have gone ahead and just included it with the release version. My first impressions of the XT-3, it's a very sturdy camera, it's very well built, and that's exactly what you would expect from Fujifilm. It comes in the silver color as default. There is no black color as there usually is with other models. It's got all the external dials that Fujifilm is known for, the exposure compensation here, the shutter speed dial here, and also the ISO dial here. Now, purists love to have the external controls that they can just manipulate, just like that. There is also other dials. I mean, there's a ton of buttons. There's 2 additional dials, front and back here. There is a lot of ways to customize this camera to your preference. The XT-3 also comes with a touchscreen. I was very pleased to discover this. I'm a big fan of touchscreens. I think every camera should have a touchscreen in 2019. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but they're becoming more commonplace. It's not the touchscreen that I was hoping for in one sense, because you can't work through the menu options using the touchscreen. You have to use either the dials or the little joystick here or the arrow buttons here, which I was a little bit disappointed about. The menus are pretty involved. There's a lot of options in there, and if you want to navigate them quickly, it's hard to do without using a touchscreen. Nonetheless, there are interesting ways to use the touchscreen. There are gestures, swipe gestures that you can customize to enable features that are important to you. This particular screen also tilts out, up, and down to give you additional ways to get interesting angles when you're shooting. It also tilts that way, so that if you're shooting in portrait mode, you can still get down low or shoot up high. The XT-3 is a feature-packed monster. There is so much on this camera, it would be hard to get into it all. In fact, there's so much on this camera, it's kind of overwhelming when you first start shooting with it. I'm someone who likes to just grab the camera, ditch the manual, and figure out how it works myself, because I've worked with a lot of cameras, so I can usually find my way around. The XT-3, on the other hand, requires the manual at all times, particularly when you're getting used to it. I mean, there is so much going on with this camera. So many different ways to set it up to your preferences. Kind of unusual ways to find the different modes, like shutter priority mode and aperture priority mode. One of the things that really caught me out was the view mode here. At one point I was just completely confused as to how I had changed the view mode and how to get it back to the LCD screen here. And the view mode it's a really handy button when you know it's there, but if you haven't figured it out yet, you can easily get lost. And that's why I found a lot of the things with the Fujifilm XT-3. it's easy to get lost in there and find yourself accidentally changing settings and not knowing how to get back. But it's just a matter of getting used to the camera. This is a camera for people who want to use it a lot, who are serious about their photography and want to have really fine grained control over their image quality, the tweaks they want to make in camera to their images, videographers who want to have a lot of fine grained control over the videos they're shooting. This is an amazing camera, but it's not for the faint of heart. The lens that comes with the XT3 is an 18 to 55mm f2.8 to f4. It does have image stabilization, which is an excellent feature and one that I was really able to take advantage of when I was shooting video. The image quality out of this lens, I don't think it does justice to what this camera is capable of. So, you know, you do have to make an additional investment if you want to really max out the image quality, but for me, it's an absolute must. The XT3 is also Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled, so you can attach it to your phone, get a live view from your phone, change your focus point from your phone, change some of your settings from your phone, start recording, start shooting right there on your phone. Like the touch screen, I consider Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity to be just a fundamental feature that I want to see on all cameras from now on. If you've read any of my reviews before, you'll know how important it is for me to be able to charge my camera by USB. I want to be able to travel and not worry about plug adapters or power supplies or anything like that. And you can charge the XT3 by USB. They don't provide the requisite USB cord, unfortunately. They just provide the battery charger, but it's probably easy enough to find the right one. All in all, I would have to say I really enjoyed shooting with the XT3. It is a phenomenal camera. There is so much going on here. It would take me weeks and weeks to thoroughly test this camera, but on first inspection, I'm really impressed with what I see, and I think serious shooters, videographers are gonna love this camera. Let's take a look at some of the video I was able to capture with the Fujifilm XT3. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Justin Morrison.